come out, same story.
Hi friends. So eventually I'll get a tripod set up and everything, but fun fact, I'm moving to New York City. Okay. I feel like some story time, and I'm going to show you, this is going to be like a moving vlog number 1. So I haven't decided whether I'm posting the video that I recorded before this or not. So you may or may not know, I'm actually in the process of getting a divorce and moving from California to New York. And I want to record this for myself so I can remember what I'm doing and what's happening, because it's stressful. There's a lot to figure out, and while a lot of people are supporting me emotionally, I have no one supporting me financially anymore. My parents said they will not support me. Obviously, my still technically husband, but we're legally separated, is no longer supporting me. So kind of where I'm at right now is it is August 15th. Actually, as of tomorrow, I'll have lived in California for 11 years. So that's a big deal. And I am interviewing for full-time jobs, either based in Manhattan or remote. And I am boxing everything up and planning my move and all of that. And I am so incredibly thankful I get to stay with a friend for a couple weeks while I search for apartments in person, because trying to secure a New York apartment online is pretty much impossible. Like, I realized I truly need to see these in person. Number 1, to not get scammed, but number 2, like, I feel like a lot of them read very differently in person. And obviously you want to make sure that everything's functional and all that stuff. So if I'm gonna be spending buco bucks to move to the city, I want to know that I'm getting a good apartment. So really thankful. So I actually am going to be leaving California officially, like getting on my plane September 6th. So we're, I think, 23 or 24 days away. So that's crazy. So yeah, we're gonna have a little moving vlog here. I've got most of my things packed up. So I have a lot of things boxed. I've purged a whole bunch of stuff. I had a garage sale. I took stuff to a consignment store. I've been selling things, on Facebook Marketplace and whatnot. So I've gotten rid of a lot, but it's still shocking how much stuff you accumulate, and like things I don't want to get rid of or things that I actually will use. And I'm realizing that I'm bringing essentially one small box of kitchen items. So I have to like restock a whole kitchen, and I need to buy a bed and things like that. So that'll all happen once I actually get there and get in the space and everything. But just all the other little things that you use day to day, it's kind of shocking, because when I moved cross country from Minnesota to California, I got space in a truck and moved stuff out, but because I had already kind of gotten established out here with the amount of stuff we could fit in a conversion van, it wasn't that much, and I hadn't lived alone, so I didn't have that much stuff, and I was moving in with my fiance, and so he had everything, so now like I'm getting a fresh start. I'm reinventing myself. So new job, new apartment, new city, new me, everything. So that's pretty crazy. But we've had some drama. So things have been going so smooth, and I'm thinking, wow, the universe really wants me to do this. Everything's going so smoothly and well. And like the fact that I can stay with this friend essentially for free, like obviously we're going to split groceries and things like that. And just like everything was getting out of my way to move. I've been getting a ton of interviews with great jobs. So like things are going really well. And so I started looking into moving companies because I need someone to ship my stuff out. So I, go online, I do some research, I find like one of the top moving companies that does cross-country moves, and they have a local branch, so contact them. We do a FaceTime video to go through my stuff, and they give me a quote for a little over $6,000, which, you know, I was thinking, you know, with gas prices and everything, it'd probably be around 5. So I'm like, okay, it's not that far off, but that's a lot of money that I don't have. And you know, anywhere I can cut costs right now is really important because I have hardly any money in the bank. Also, I'm selling my car today, so TBD on that. But like, I don't have $6,000 right now, so I'm like, okay, I wonder if we can do this cheaper. Who do I know that's moved cross country in the last couple of years? Well, my sister-in-law has. She moved from Florida out here. So I was told I should ask her. So she gives me the name of the company that she went through, or she sent me the contract so I can see who it is. So I go to the website, and I don't think either of us really understood at the time that it was a broker and not the moving company. So I get connected with this moving company, which, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and say it because they scammed me. It was American Moving and Freight. Don't use them. And so I get on the phone, and it feels so legit. Like, she's walking me through everything. There are contracts, like we're literally going through and listing all the different furniture I'm taking, you know, doing boxes. She's, you know, asking about like number of flights of stairs. Like, it feels really legit. She's like, okay, you know, based on that, we need to move this soon. Let me see when I've got a truck available, all that stuff. So I leave feeling really good. And to secure this, they're gonna need a down payment, which again is like, okay, that makes sense. Like, you're sending a truck and movers over, like you want some money down. Okay. So she says, you know, we do this by direct deposit. So let's get your, you know, checking account routing number and all that stuff. And I said, okay, but you're not going to charge me today. Like, I need to make a decision. She's like, no, this is just to like make sure your bank will connect. We're not going to charge you yet. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do it. So I get her the info. And then a couple days, so I was talking to her, I think on Sunday, and she said like, it probably will take till Monday or Tuesday for the bank to connect because they don't do it on weekends. I'm like, okay. And so I had emails from her with our contracts and all this stuff, right? And I also talked to her manager, so like, it's feeling really legit. So I expect that there's going to be like, you know, 1 cent to $1 thing that goes through to prove that my bank got connected. Like, she warned me of that. I'm like, okay, but you're not going to charge me yet, right? She's like, yeah, like we'll wait till you're ready to book it. So on, I think Tuesday, the charge goes through for the full down payment, which also, things to learn, down payments for moving companies, which I learned after the fact, should only be up to a couple $100. Her down payment, which was $1,778, right? So almost $2,000, which I didn't have that much money in the bank. So my bank account went negative, and I was alerted to that. And I'm like, oh shoot. So my husband loans me $500 just to make sure that like I'm not withdrawn, that I need to pay him back. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of pissed now because she said she wasn't going to charge me. So I try calling her, no answer. I leave a voicemail. I email her. Days later, still haven't heard. I call the main company line, can't get through to anyone. I email the company. Days later, still haven't heard from anyone. So they basically, from Thursday through Sunday, every day I was contacting her personal, like direct lines and emails, and the company. Never heard back. So Sunday, I'm like, this is starting to feel weird. Like, I haven't heard from her. We haven't officially scheduled the move. Like, are they going to show up? I don't know how I feel about this. So I call the original phone number for the moving company that my sister-in-law had given me. And I ask, you know, hey, like, I, you know, booked kind of through you and not sure what's going on. They're like, oh, you didn't book through us, but we're a broker. Who did you book through? And I tell him, and you know, I give him the job number. And he's like, that wasn't through us, but let me look it up for you. So he pulls up the company, like through the Department of Transportation and stuff. He's like, okay, this seems weird because they only established their DBA, so their business name, 2 months ago. Probably because they had another one that had enough complaints that they closed it and opened a new one. So now I'm really freaking out. So before I can like ask him anything else, this guy hangs up. So I immediately call my bank, which again, it's Sunday, so hard to get through. I get to the like fraud line person, and so he says that he's gonna put someone on to investigate it this week, you know, once it's Monday to get something, and they're gonna try to reverse the charge. It could take 10 days. But because like, I'm thinking this wasn't on a credit card, this was just like through my bank. So I don't know if they're going to be able to get the money back because there isn't those levels of protection like a credit card. And I look on my online banking and it shows that there was a check written, and it wasn't one of my checks, and it was just an e-signature. It wasn't my personal signature. So I'm really hoping that this will like prove the fraud of it. So wish me luck on this. I need that money. But now, so that was yesterday. So now it's Monday, and I need to find a moving company that is legit and that I can afford, because I'm moving soon and I've got most of my stuff boxed up, and I need to get this figured out before I leave California, ideally very soon, to get this all booked. So that's on the docket for today. Additionally, I am selling my car today, which has been a whole nother saga, but I'm feeling optimistic. So last week, I was figuring out like, okay, looked on Kelley Blue Book, what's it worth? And then I was trying to figure out, do I want to try to sell it privately and get a little more money? Or do I want to go through a dealership and, you know, realistically get less, but like they'll do everything there. I don't have to worry about getting scammed. I don't have to go to the DMV and like make sure that the paperwork gets changed over so it's not still in my name, you know, have a legit check, all that stuff. So I put an ad on Craigslist. I get a whole bunch of people contacting me, some trying to lowball me, some that were probably scams. And I'm like, I don't feel good about this. So I decide to shop it around to some local dealerships. So I did that last week, back and forth negotiating, and I got a decent offer from our local BMW. I have a Honda, by the way, I have a Honda CR-V. So I'm going to take it over there and sell it today, assuming that they're going to still give me the same price that they quoted me. So then I'm going to be borrowing my in-laws' pickup truck for the next little bit. I'm so thankful that they're still letting us use that, because I'm sure they're not thrilled with me right now. So that's happening, and my parents get to town today. I love them. I really love them. I love my family. But they've been trying to talk me out of this divorce, and so I know it's going to be a really stressful 10 days that they're here. They had booked this trip before all of this went down. So yeah, I'm really not looking forward to this, but we are going to stay strong and grounded in this. It's happening. I'm going to go live my dream life, and I'm going to take you along. So let's take a look at where we're at with moving stuff so far. And we're going to have a multi-part moving vlog because it's going to happen in a lot of chunks. This is not a, you know, get to my apartment and unload everything the next day. This is going to be kind of a saga while I stay with my friend for 3 weeks and get a job and find an apartment and all that stuff. So let's go do it. So right behind where I was sitting, this is a couple boxes of kind of last minute stuff. So like toiletries that I'm going to put in there, hair stuff. And then I've started packing for the like 3 weeks that I'm not going to have all my stuff. So I need obviously clothes for interviewing and work, and then just normal stuff. And it's going to be fall. So I'm like sweaters and t-shirts and tank tops and all kinds of things. There's Coco. I'm really sad the dogs aren't coming with me. And then I've got some other boxes over here happening. All the clothes in this closet are coming. And then everything else is basically outside. Here is where all the chaos is. So thankfully, my shed is kind of a holding area. This is also all of the furniture that's coming with me, but these are all my boxes and things, and I still have work, so I'm keeping things kind of set up. But yeah, we got a lot going on. Most of these are completely done and taped and all that stuff. I've got my list of packing things and that fraudulent contract, but that's basically what's happening. So now it's getting real, it's getting tough. I'm making this move like a really positive thing, but I've definitely been crying a lot. It's really hard to change this much about life. I've been married almost 10 years. We have a kid, we have a life together, we have a home. I built this shed, we have dogs. Like, there's a lot I'm leaving behind. But I'm also very certain that this is the best thing for all of us. So I don't want any comments about like, how could you leave? Like, I've been through that. I'm literally gonna shut it down if you're going that route, because this is going to be best for everyone involved. And there's a lot of the story that's not being told here for privacy. So yeah, just be kind. It is gonna be hard though. This is gonna be the first time I'm truly living on my own. I'm basically reinventing myself, and it can be hard. There's a lot that I'm dealing with, personally, emotionally, logistically, and at the same time, I know deep in my heart and my soul that this is the right thing. This is the thing I should have done years ago, and I was just too scared. And so I'm proud of myself for finally doing it. I'm finally gonna go pursue my dream and live in the city that holds my heart. And let's do it. Goodbye, car. All right, moving update. So it is Saturday, September 3rd, and my flight is on the 6th on Tuesday. So we're down to the last couple of days, and it's been getting really hard, like really emotional, because, I'm leaving behind not only 11 years of living in California and in this town and all the memories, but I'm leaving a relationship, a home, my kid, my dogs, everything familiar for this big leap. And while I know it's right for me and I know it's going to be okay, it's a lot. And just like all this crazy stuff's been happening this week too. Like, I got stung right here under the eye by a bee 2 days ago, and so my face is still puffy and like my skin is rebelling. So I have like breakouts and I'm just like angry. And I still haven't officially booked a moving company, and I can't remember if I mentioned this yet, but I got scammed by a moving company, so I'm out $1,778 currently. Well, the bank and the police and the Better Business Bureau are investigating this, and so I hope I get my money back, but it's been 2 or 3 weeks now. So I'm kind of just anticipating that I'm not going to get that money, and it will be a blessing if I get it. But like, I'm having a lot of trust issues now. So like trusting a moving company, trusting landlords as I'm looking at apartments. The fact that I don't have an apartment lined up for a moving company to drop my stuff off yet. And while I still have the better part of a month to get that lined up, like, I'm anxious that it won't come through. And like, I just need to get out to New York so I can actually like see stuff in person. And my job starts in 2 weeks. And like, I should be more anxious about starting a new job, but that seems like the least scary thing of all the things that I'm doing right now. it's just a lot. It's a lot going on. My car hasn't sold yet. It's on consignment at Honda. So I need that money as my seed money because that's going to pay the movers, pay, first and last month's rent and all those fees. It's going to pay my living expenses until my, paycheck starts coming through. So that's kind of important. We met with the lawyer again for all the divorce stuff. And so I have a vague idea of how much money I'll be getting in the divorce, but it's not finalized yet. And I won't be getting that for probably another month anyway. So, and it's just been weird. When most people get divorced, I think, it's pretty typical. Once you make the decision, somebody moves out. And we've been living together for about 2 months since this decision. And well, it's fine. And again, I totally trust him. He's a good guy. It's awkward. It's awkward to be in that same space. And so I'm also getting antsy to just leave, to be out of the environment so that we can both start moving on with our lives. So that's just been emotional because just interacting with that person on a daily basis when you've had, a marriage, it's weird when your relationship dynamic has shifted, but you're still living together. And I'm really going to miss my daughter and my dogs. I've hesitated to ever say this on the vlog or anything because people have a lot of opinions. I was never meant to be a mom. And that's, I think, a lot of what precipitated this as well. I love my daughter. First and foremost, she is the most amazing little human. And I'm so glad she's on this planet and that she was in my life. But I was literally never meant to be a mom. And it was something that I really gave up what I knew to be true for me for my husband. More than anything in the world, he wanted to be a dad, and he is the most incredible parent ever. That is literally what he was put on this planet to do. He's a really good dad. But I compromised myself. I wanted him to have everything that he ever wanted, and I loved him enough that I compromised myself and gave in, and we had this kid, and there's no way to make this sound great. I've basically hated the whole parenting thing from day one. Again, I love her. I'm not anti-kids, but I am not meant to be a mom. I think I've done a good job. I have a lot of emotional intelligence. I've raised a lot of animals. I'm good with people, I think. And my goal was that she would always have a really wonderful childhood. So again, I compromised myself. I tried to be present with her. I wanted to give her a wonderful childhood, and I felt like I was slowly dying inside. And it wasn't her specifically. She's again a wonderful little kid. I just know that it's not for me. And I know other women feel this way. I know I'm not the only one, but it's not something that's really talked about, and it's extremely taboo to talk about. So please don't come after me in this, because it's really hard to talk about, and I've had a lot of therapy around it. And apparently there are other people that feel this way. So I never want her to feel not wanted, because she was really wanted. I did want her. I do want to be in her life still. I want her to have the best life possible, which is why I needed to leave the situation as well, because I knew I was not being the best version of myself around her, and I knew that would eventually rub off on her. All the parenting experts say that what kids need is not a perfect parent, but a happy parent. And I wasn't happy. I really wasn't happy. And I didn't want that to come back to her. So she's going to have a better life. And obviously I wouldn't leave if there wasn't more people. So, you know, my husband's parents live nearby and they are already her main babysitters, but they're going to step up more. We have, you know, it's a village. There's all the people that will step up and help take care of her that have been in our lives and are, you know, he grew up here and everything. So he's got the people. I wouldn't leave it if it was just him and her. So, you know, there's guilt, there's grief, there's a lot of feelings and emotions, and I've got a couple more days to get through, and then it gets both more exciting and more scary, and we'll see. We'll see what happens next. Thanks for listening. Final day, night in California. It's been real. I've been crying a lot the last couple of days, and it's been hard. My in-laws have been so incredibly nice to me today. They read me a list of reasons that they've really enjoyed having me in their life, which is really unexpected and really wonderful. I love them a lot. And last night, my husband, daughter, and I did a last family dinner outing. We went downtown and we went out to dinner and we took photos and just hung out, and it was great. And I was in the bathroom of the restaurant crying, and it's really coming down to that trust that I'm giving up good in the anticipation of great, because I know this is right. These good moments don't negate that there's been really rough moments, and they don't prove that there's nothing wrong. But wow, I'm literally leaving this entire life behind and starting fresh tomorrow. Here's hoping. Let's just also appreciate this. Pismo Beach, California. Just out here for last night. We had a little picnic. Super nice. Last few minutes in slow. I've already been to the airport this morning, and they were asking for people to take a later flight for flight vouchers, so I'm doing that. So I'm gonna take a red eye and get in to Newark at 5 in the morning, but it's actually $1,500 travel credit, so worth it, because I'm probably not gonna sleep anyway. But this morning was incredibly difficult and emotional. Saying goodbye to my soon-to-be ex-husband and daughter I've never cried that much in my life. It was really hard. And so when I had this extra downtime, I Ubered back downtown and got a quick facial and a coffee, and just been killing time in Barnes & Noble. So now I'm catching my Uber back to the airport, and here we go. Made it to Manhattan. Been here for about 24 hours, and it definitely feels like it was the right move. I'm so much happier. I know I'm gonna still have all the emotions and everything, but I'm really glad I'm here. I think I just said it's been a little over 24 hours. I'm going for a run in Central Park for the first time, because every time I've been here, I haven't been here to work out. So I've never actually run through Central Park. I've walked it a lot, of course. So yeah, we'll see what the day unfolds. I have viewed 3 apartments so far yesterday. So I got to the apartment where I'm staying with my friend a little before 7 a.m. I maybe slept for another hour there, and then I just couldn't sleep anymore. So I got up, and yeah, yesterday was just I was exhausted all day, but also just running on adrenaline. And so yeah, viewed apartments, applied for one, led a support group that I lead every month. And so yeah, today is like officially day one, like where I actually woke up here the whole night. Gonna view another apartment today, hopefully more than one, but one so far, and just kind of get acclimated, start work on Monday.
Think I know what it was.